non-synchronous assessments, which means you can simply look up a lot of stuff during the exams and stuff. So, I don't blame you guys. It's the path of least resistance to an A, right? You are economic beings. You have finite amount of time, and you know there is an opportunity cost of actually studying for the exam if you can look for the answer. Well, an opportunity cost is value of the second best alternative. An example, suppose your project needs a piece of land to build a factory, and your firm already owns such a land, bought 5 years ago at 3 million, and can be sold today if need be for 5 million. Now, one argument you could make, since your company already owns this land, you should basically attach a value of zero as a cost of this land for the project, because you're not actually spending any money. But the firm could have done something with it. Okay, instead of giving it to the project, they could have sold it in the market. That's the value of the second best alternative. So as soon as the project takes over the land, firm gives up that right. So the standalone principle tells us if our firm did not own this land, we would have had to buy it, right? So I'm going to go ahead and pay $5 million for a piece of land so that I can build my factory and stuff like that. Standalone principle basically says the fate of the project should not depend upon whether or not your firm already owns the land or not. So we're going to treat it as if we are paying $5 million to the firm to use this land, because projects stand by itself, right? And when I'm done with the project, if I'm returning the land back to the firm, I can write it as a cash inflow as well. And suppose I expect this project to generate cash flows for the next 10 years. And 10 years from now, I expect this land to be worth $8 million. At the end of 10 years, I'm going to write in $8 million in cash flow. But I'm going to write a cost of 5 million right now. That 10 million may not be worth as much as 5 because of the time value of the money, right? So this is going to be relevant due to standalone principle. Okay. Next, we're going to think about side effects. Changes to the sales cost of the firm due to acceptance of the project. There are two types of side effects. Negative side effects, which are a lot more common. We call that erosion or sometimes cannibalism. And positive side effects that are relatively rare, like cross-selling opportunities. Example of a negative side effect. You know about NVIDIA, right? They have these chips that are used in data centers or AI models. And pretty much every year they come up with a new chip. And right now they have something called Blackwell. Next year there's going to be even a better chip, and or there could be a better chip. They're going to make a design. They're going to think about it. When they go ahead with the new chip, they obviously are expecting a lot of sales from it. But as soon as you start marketing the better chip, the people who would have otherwise bought your existing chip are not going to buy them anymore. Maybe there may be some customers right now who can't afford the existing chip. If I have the new chip, I'm going to reduce the price of the existing chip. I may get some sales from that. But either way, there's going to be a reduction to sales of the existing products. That doesn't mean sales of the new product is not going to be big enough to cover for that, but you need to account for that. So you need to look at for uh, sales with the project versus sales without the project, or similarly, costs as well. This is basically incremental cash flow principle. Hence, uh, side effects are relevant. And example of positive side effects, just by introducing your new product, uh, maybe sales of some of your existing products is going to go up. In general, I kind of look at claims like that with some doubt. A lot of times, those are wishful thinking. Doesn't necessarily mean that people are fraudulent about it, but you know, they believe in the project. It's their baby, so they think it's going to affect even the existing sales positively. My general approach to this kind of stuff is if whether or not acceptance of the project relies on that positive side effect, think about it harder. So don't jump on it. Oh, this makes a lot of money. But if without that positive side effect, you would have gotten a negative MPV, then I'll go ahead to my team who are making these projections, make a better efforts justifying those. Doesn't mean they're not there, but I'll be kind of cautious about those. Next, we're going to talk about capital spending on long-term assets, such as plant, property, equipment. I shouldn't even have to tell you. Those are relevant. If I'm going to spend $50 million on machinery to put the project in place, that's obviously relevant. We're going to also look at the change in net working capital. And we're going to say they are relevant. I'm going to make an argument why. Suppose this project involves a new product. In order to support the sales of this new product, depending upon the product, I have to keep some inventory, right? And I also have to maybe fund some accounts receivable because some of my clients are going to pay me in a few months. Let's say I'm NVIDIA. I came up with this new chip, and as we have seen before, NVIDIA's customers typically pay them somewhere around 30 to 40 days. But that means I need to fund them. So I'm increasing my accounts receivable. Well, I got to keep some in inventory to support those sales. That has to be funded too. This change in net working capital is also a capital investment, but it's short-term capital investment. As opposed to capital spending, when the project is done, the firm is going to get this money back. Um, Cumulative change in net working capital will be recorded as a cash inflow at the end of the project life.